The word coming out of Alaska recently is that the king salmon have gone missing. Now, salmon are born inland, in the rivers. They then migrate down to the sea, where they spend a number of years feeding and growing. Then they return to the river where they were hatched, and they spawn and they carry on the life cycle. But in the last few years, the kings have not been returning. So what has happened to them? I'm looking for orca in the waters off Alaska to try to see if they're connected to the disappearance of the king salmon. Right, whoa, 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 whoa! I think that must have come out of the water. And again, look at that, look at that, look at that. It's like they're putting on a show for us. It really is like they're putting on a show. These astounding creatures are the true rulers of the ocean. To power their huge bulk takes a lot of energy, but are the kings, the biggest of the salmon species, their fuel? This doesn't look like predatory behavior. At the moment, they just appear to be having fun with us. They are approaching the boat. We're sitting here with the motor idling, and they're coming very slowly towards us. It's almost like they are curious. This is wonderful. You can see it through the water, through the water. Diving down, coming right across our stern. Suddenly there is the impression that this water is full of them. And so the numbers here are starting to make sense. There we go, that was a selfie with an orca. How often do you get that? If these orca really do feed on kings, there's a chance the salmon could be here right now. Once I'm sure the orca have long gone, I try my luck, but catch nothing. I'm certain I'm onto something with the orca, but I still need definitive proof, something that links them to the king salmon. I tracked down John Maniscalco, who has apparently witnessed orca actively hunting.
One time, just right off the corner of my boat, this king salmon leaps out of the water right towards the boat, dives down, and this killer whale just does the same arcing leap right after it. Dives right under the boat, right after this king salmon. Huge salmon. I don't know if it eventually got that salmon, but I bet it did. Yeah.
So it was right behind us.
It was hot on its trail, yeah.
Have you any way of saying what particular fish they might be going for?
Oh, sure. The studies that some of the guys have been doing around here, they'll pick up some of the scales and some of the other tissue from the fish that the killer whales kill, and determine that they feed mainly on the king salmon around here.
Right. It's a big, warm-blooded animal. It probably has to get through quite a lot of king salmon just to keep itself going.
Yeah, a lot of calories there, yeah. So, you know, that's why they think they target the bigger fish. And the king salmon, they're the biggest of the salmon that we have around here, and they'll target the big ones.
So orca are going after king salmon in these waters, but are they behind the king's disappearance?
It's possible. That's really hard to say. You know, a lot of things feed on king salmon, including humans out here. So, you know, with the increased population of killer whales around here, that they think that some of the researchers think that they are making more of a significant dent in the king salmon population.
It definitely sounds like they're targeting king salmon because, well, and why wouldn't they? They're very tasty, but also very rich food. However, they're not all of the picture. There's lots of other factors. The fact that resident orca numbers off Alaska have been on the increase when other orca populations are declining is a critical element in this mystery. Has this orca boom been at the expense of the kings? Given the dynamic nature of predator-prey relationships, perhaps it's not possible for king salmon and orca to flourish at the same time. The question is, does this spell the end for Alaskan king salmon? I need to find out if enough kings are escaping the orca to return to the rivers and spawn. So far, I've seen the other 4 species of salmon, but not a single king. But I'm convinced I'm getting close. I team up with the Alaskan Department of Fish and Game, who are also searching for kings at the mouths of the rivers. Anything happening today so far?
We've been picking up a couple sockeye, but we haven't picked up any kings yet.
Right.
And we're about to pull it right now.
Okay. This one's a sockeye. You just let those go?
Yep.
So you're only interested in the kings?
Exactly.
Yeah. Feels like there might be something... There we go. Is that a sockeye?
Yep.
Right. But it's just sockeye after sockeye. So still no kings today? With each net pull, it's looking less and less hopeful. Ah, look at that, look at that, look at that. Finally, a king salmon. It's all right, okay. Its survival is so important that I dare not even remove it from the water. So here we have it. This is an Alaskan king salmon. This will be about a 28-pounder. Very nice sized fish, but these things potentially grow a lot bigger than that. And this is fresh from the sea. It's bright silver. As it progresses upriver, it will gradually change. I was starting to think that I might never see a king salmon. My investigation has made me realize that throughout their life cycle, the kings are constantly hunted. In the early days by pike, then by humans, salmon sharks and orca, each one taking their fill. Perhaps there is no single cause for their decline, but instead a perfect storm of factors that has brought this iconic species to the brink of collapse. But this shimmering, full-bodied fish is evidence that the kings are not lost. And as long as there are still some left to journey upriver and breed... Off it goes, fantastic. And it's going the right way, upriver. The kings will one day rule again.